today and you follow this, you will make extra money. So your time will be very valuable. So thank you for taking the time. A little bit about Ben and myself. We've been in the title business for about 19 years now, and we have been business partners for over a decade. There is a lot outside of just title insurance. You know, we're exactly like you guys in the sense that we do not make a salary. We all work for free until we close the deal, correct? Right? That's it. We're the same. So if we can help you capture more business and be successful in this industry, then it's a win-win. So how we do that is outside of all the tools. Don't look up here, look over here, don't look up here, over here.
Nah.
Outside of all the tools that Fidelity has to offer, what happens over at Fidelity is we have all these companies that come to us because we are the biggest and the best. Sorry, that's my belief. I've worked at a few others before I hit Fidelity. My point is what happens is they come to us to pitch their product to you guys, but we don't just allow any company to come to us. We vet it. Our manager's been in the business. A lot of people have known him for over 30 years. So outside of what Fidelity offers to you guys, what Ben and I do is we put on our thinking caps and we create things such as what we're going to go over today, which is a sphere of influence cultivation plan. So who here in this room can tell me that they have their sphere? And if not, that's okay. Because if you don't, then maybe that's something that you're going to do this year. Do you have your sphere of influence in a CRM, which it could be command, could be any type of CRM?
Wait, real quick.
Go for it.
Everyone, has heard sphere of influence, but Jamie and I, when we talk sphere, everyone's sphere is a little different depending on which training methodology you subscribe to. But Jamie and I, our version of sphere are people who know you, like you, love you, and are past clients. I don't care if you sold sneakers before you're an agent. If they've done business with you, they belong in your database. So that's what we're talking about.
So when you're working open houses, which you should be doing every single weekend, when you are working an open house and you meet somebody at the open house, they should not necessarily be in your sphere of influence category, but in a different category. So if you do not have your sphere of influence in command or any CRM, and you do not want to spend money, we highly recommend to put them in Excel. You got to have your sphere of influence in some type of, whether it's CRM or Excel, first name, last name, address, birthdays, anniversaries, as much information as you can provide. Number one, what needs to be done is you need to remind your sphere of influence with a marketing piece. Write this down if you can, 9 to 12 times a year. They need to be touched with the marketing piece. If you have the funds to do once a month, absolutely. But 9 to 12 times a year, you guys, is that golden number. They need to be reminded that you're a realtor. You know, we've heard in the past, actually I have, don't know about Ben, but you know,
one last week.
Did you?
Oh my gosh, yeah. We hear the stories of, I was speaking with an agent, all out of respect, leave out the brokerage, but it rhymes with T-Max. He was really pissed off, and I was, wanting to coach him on what we had planned on talking about that day, but I could tell he was smiling elsewhere. I was like, what's going on with you, bud? You're not here. What's happening? He goes, I'm going to kill the guy who cuts my hair. I'm going to shoot him in the face. He listed with my competitor. And it's a dagger in the heart when somebody in your sphere lists with their competitor. But it's up to us to tell our story. And when I started, asking open-ended questions to this agent, when's the last time you mailed your barber a real estate related marketing piece? Then I didn't do that. When's the time you sent him? When's the last time you sent him a text appreciation? Didn't do that. When's the last time that you did a Popeye and gave him something real estate related? I didn't do that. Ben, I didn't. And then he stopped me. He goes, why are you asking me all these things? I said, because there's a point. And he goes, we'll get to it because time is money, as you always say, right? True, Ben. So I said, the point is this. Why haven't you done that? He said, because he knows what I do. I've been going them for 20 years. No, he doesn't. To him, you are mock name David, who shows up on the first Thursday of every month. He sits down, he lines your beard up. You guys talk a bunch of what, and then off to the races, and then the next, and then the next. It's up to us to tell our story. And as Michael Hellickson says it, if you don't tell your story, someone else will. And it's probably going to be your competition, and it's not going to be an accurate depiction of your story. And then the other thing we hear is, well, Ben, my sphere is in St. Louis. I'm not from around here. The last time Jamie and I checked, Keller Williams is an international luxury real estate brand. And last time I checked, you can refer business to other states and other countries and make money. True or true?
True.
Now, would you rather you tell that story to your sphere, or would you have somebody in another market, another agent, take that from you and start injecting their story into that? The point is all of us share the same common goal. We are all in the same business of relationship management. Jamie and I's vehicle is title. You know, the guy at Bob Smith, you know, his vehicle, literally, no pun intended, is a BMW. Yours is real estate, but we're all in the same business of being effective dot connectors. But how can we connect the dots and help our sphere if we don't dig down deep and constantly touch them and remind them that you're here to be their biggest advocate? Because in turn, they're your little minions. When you're working your sphere right, Jimmy and I have agents, all they do is micro farm around their inventory and work their sphere. And they make surgeon money and they crush it. But if you don't have your sphere, as Jamie said, even I don't even care if it's in a PDF. If you don't have it, how can we start marketing if we don't have a plan, right? So I'll even accept this at first. This is a mini computer, true or true, right? I bet you if you started from A and went down to Z, you would bang out about 95% of people in your sphere, because it's all right here. But we have to start from somewhere, and that's getting them into what we call a data bank, not a database, because a database is just something we throw a bunch of information in, pat ourselves on the back and said, I did my job today, I'm going home. A data bank is when you can actually take those people, start massaging them, follow up, consistency, and turn them into little money makers for you. So that they're telling everyone, you need to list with my guy, my gal, because of X, Y, and Z, right? So I'll get off my stool here.
That's a great one. So again, 9 to 12 times a year. And if you wonder, like, well, what do I send? A month comes, you know, what do I send? If it comes to content, hit us up. And also, if you're not signed up with Breakthrough Broker, make sure you are. Text us if you are not. It is free. It's a great place to get content, amongst a lot of other things. I'll drop a tip right now. Write this down.
Show of hands. Who's heard of Breakthrough Broker? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's phenomenal. For those that don't, it's Google for realtors.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to go over your listing presentation, write in listing presentation and Breakthrough Broker in the search engine. You want to look at letters, anything that you want to look at, it's Google for realtors. It's unbelievable. So if you don't have it, text us and we can sign you up. If you do have it, you currently are getting 2 emails a week from Breakthrough Broker to remind you, hey, we're here and here's some great content or something that you can implement in your business. Okay, phenomenal. Another tip on content that a lot of people don't know about, hidden gem, you guys, Pinterest. Pinterest is an app. You can use it for, like I use it for recipes, use it for a whole lot, you use it for content. So in the search engine, if you want to write what to expect during a home inspection, you will see a whole lot of free content for you. So moving on to number 2, you got that one marketing piece 9 to 12 times a year. Number 2, this is huge, you guys, because it's what everybody uses is text messaging. Who here, anybody sending a text message to your sphere of influence once a month right now? Excellent job. High five to you. And that's okay, kind of. So this is what I recommend is to write it in your day planner or your phone, wherever your calendar is, and set that plan up for the rest of 2022. Make an appointment with yourself. If you had an appointment today to go on a 1.1 listing presentation, who here will show up to that listing? Just a few of you? You're not going to show up to your listing appointment? Thank you.
Good.
Everyone show up. So all I'm saying is write an appointment in your day planner once a month for the rest of 2022. Show up for yourself. You're setting an appointment with yourself to send a text message to your data bank once a month. You guys, people see text messages before they listen to voicemails. They see it before they read an email. It's instant. Take me up on it. When I've had those realtors that have taken me up on that and have done it for the rest of the year, doubled their business. You guys will get leads from it and it's free. Reach is the app, REACH for iPhone users.
Reach for, yeah.
And hit them up, HITENUP for droids.
Does everyone know what she just said? Because that's pretty damn powerful.
Yes, it is.
Because we only have 24 hours in a day, right? So how do we maximize it? Jamie and I, your title teams are doing our jobs right. Not only are we helping you increase your ROI, but we're helping create more time that you can use to spend with your loved ones, your family, surfing, doing whatever you do, right? It's all about time management. So Jamie just threw out an awesome tip. Reach for iPhone or hit them up, HITEM up.
Yep.
These two platforms allow you to do what typically would take a whole day, and it allows you to do in under an hour. And that is send out a mass text blast, but it doesn't look like it's a mass text blast. It looks like I just missed the text from my pal Jamie. You can even customize it as you go down. Hey, missed you the other day. Good seeing you. By the way, boom. This is such a great piece to use. It helps agents save a ton of time, and it's easy breezy. Ladies and gentlemen, Waze confuses me, but I can use this, and it makes me look like a giant size.
And you'll get responses. Yes, question.
I've never used those mass text
Yep.
messages, but if they were to respond to that,
Yes.
is that
Great question.
Great
So
question,
let me
yeah.
back up a little bit and then I'll answer it. Number one is the text is coming from your cell phone. There's text messages that people will use in their CRM and it's coming from like an 866. Do not use that.
No.
So reach and hit them up. Both come from your cell phone. And then to answer your question is, what was your question? We're on vacation.
well, when
They're
it's a mass text
Right.
message, when they respond, they
Yes,
reply.
not they're so when they respond, it only you see the
Okay.
Only
the
you.
respond. And then when you respond back, it's only between the two of you.
So every
Which is-
time when Jamie texts me, I text her back and then she texts me back.
Bam.
So even though I know it's, a mass text, I want to
Yes.
acknowledge to her, so she
Yes.
knows that I'm paying attention. So, yeah.
Yes. And the third point is what she said is that she's responding back and now you have this communication. She's responding back. My point is, you guys, when you send out your marketing material, which should be done, you typically don't get responses back right away. With text messages, you will. You might send 129 and get 86 responses back. So this is another tip. When you take that hour out of your day to send that text message to your data bank, make sure you have 30 minutes after. Don't run off to a meeting because you want to respond back to them. Does that make sense? You don't want to disappear for 3 hours. And now you don't always have to respond back elaborately. You're starting the communication. And that is a huge piece in our business here. Because what's up, David? Okay.
No,
It's
you're
all
kidding.
good. So good. So if you guys need help with that, you have questions with it, anything.
And
Cobus, are we here? True Cobus has
Yeah.
been working with us for a long time. We're here, right?
Yeah.
You could reach us. We're here.
And the cool thing, like, let's explore why, we gotta be curious Georges in what we do, right? Always be asking questions. And Jamie and I are asking and started asking a couple of years ago, why are people respond to text so easily versus a voicemail? And it's what we drill down to is convenience. If we're doing our jobs effectively, let's face it, what we do is an interruption. Yes, we get to change people's lives through real estate. What's a beautiful day to be alive, amen, right? Just think about that. You guys get to create wealth for your clients and help them create and achieve their dreams through real estate. And we get to make a living doing that, right? It's just a great thing. So, but we started exploring why, and it's the convenience factor. But during the election year and whatnot, we all kind of got beat up as a consumer because we were getting everywhere we turn, we're getting blasted by an ad, blasted by this, and the consumer kind of went, nope, enough, done. So how can we create ways that are efficient, that are that we can do that are effective? And text is one of them. But I want to add another layer to it because we're all about growing, right? Let's start doing the videos. I know, as soon as I just said that, everyone was like. But
Powerful.
seriously, it's powerful.
Powerful.
So if we're gonna be sending text messages to our spheres, Jamie said, the time block for it, why not dial it up a notch? And do a quick little, hey, Jamie, it's Ben, just wanted to thank you for being a part of my sphere. Don't listen to what the news is saying. The market isn't falling off because interest rates are up. Holler at your boy if you need something, blah, 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 whatever. Took 30 seconds, boom, and it touches them right here. And Jamie and I actually had a conversation with a woman named Chelsea Pikes. She's brilliant. She actually is a neuroscientist, and we asked her, what's up with all the video craze? And you notice how Facebook, how they started adjusting their algorithms to videos. Everyone's switching to videos. Why? Why is that? And she said, I'll tell you why, Ben, because the human brain has not come up with an excuse or a reason to filter a video versus belly to belly differently. The neurons in our brains are firing the same. If I'm delivering this message to you belly to belly, if I was to do this via video, it would take about 45 seconds for your brain to be like, oh shit, I'm watching a video, I'm not watching belly to belly. But by then it's too late. The message is already there. The brand recognition is already there, right? So why not take a part of that? Because 20 years ago, it would cost an agent about $10 million a year in marketing to reach the audiences you can reach right now with your little phone in about 30 minutes of your time, right? So a lot of the stuff Jamie and I like to talk about is stuff that we put on our consumer hats, as Jamie said earlier, and we put ourselves in a homeowner's shoes. What would we want? How would we engage, right? We all have to kind of ask that of ourselves. Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
No, you're good.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no need to apologize. So also making sure to call them live, which I'm sure you are doing right now. And it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be real estate. You're just checking in. You're creating that conversation. As Ben mentioned 2 weeks ago, using that Ford analogy, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. So you're asking them, how's your family? How are you doing during this time? You listen, always listen to what they have to say. How's work going? You listen, right? And then eventually it turns around on you. How are you? How's business going for you? I'm gonna move on to number 4. Okay, so Facebook, gotta love Facebook because this is free for you guys to use. Facebook and Instagram, both. It's free for you to use. So if you're not using it, you guys jump on it for business. I mean, jump on it because it's not going away. And when we talk Facebook, anytime you'll ever hear Ben and I talk about social media, Facebook, Louisa knows, and Instagram, it's always your personal page, only personal, because people are more interested in you as a person. That's where they relate to you. So that's a whole nother class. Facebook, Instagram is a whole nother class, but just a few items that I did say up here is make sure that you're commenting on the post. So again, time block. Set a timer on your phone. Do you guys ever use the timer on your phone? It's brilliant.
Every day.
Isn't it the
Yeah.
best? Love it. So set
30 minutes.
the best. Exactly. Because otherwise there's so many distractions in our business, you guys. And if you can time block your business, lead generate for an hour or 2 hours in the morning. Part of lead generating is commenting on Facebook and Instagram. That's lead generating. Because when you're commenting, I don't want to go off on tangents, it's another, but you're lead generating, they're seeing your comment. So that's lead generating. So identify, I always like to say the 5-5-5 rule, make 5 phone calls, 5 text messages. You guys, this is an amazing tip. A lot of our top producers have taken us up on this and they said if they still utilize it, they love it. 5 calls, 5 text messages, 5 videos, the 5-5-5 rule. I'm going to use a little analogy right now. I like analogies. I call it the vulture analogy. We, and I say we because Ben and I are in the same space as you guys, as in making contacts, belly to belly. We have to drip on our people, just like you guys. So we're all vultures and we're swarming up high and we're trying to swoop down and grab our prey, all of us. And your prey is your sphere of, yeah, exactly, just like that. And your prey is your SOI, your sphere of influence. That's your prey. Okay, so when you do things such as call them, text them, send them marketing pieces, you do events, which we'll get into, whatever it is, you're dripping on them. In essence, you are putting a shield over your prey. So those other vultures, those other realtors out there can't swoop down and grab your prey. So think about that vulture analogy as you are in this business.
Yeah, the side note,
It's really important.
if you don't do the vulture analogy, the only other way you can protect your little rabbits from the prey, hook up with my boy Danny back there and buy a shitload of knives. Seriously,
Yeah.
while she's talking, I'm
Right.
seeing him back there like taking these knives and doing that. I'm just like, what is going on in that? Like, am I in the right place? But
Yep.
the vulture analogy is so spot on because it is a dagger in the
Yeah.
heart when somebody that you know likes and loves you lists with your
Yeah.
competitor. Now, if you're looking for a reason or a script, because a lot of people are like, Dan, I don't want to annoy my sphere. They know what I'm doing. We talked about earlier. They don't know what you're doing. The true story here. My uncle Richie still thinks I sell tile. This is true. Yeah. Every 4th of July, I'll come up, how's a tile business? I'm like, and I gave up, right? I'm like, it's great. Yeah, it's fantastic. But that's on me to let him know that it's not tile, it's title, you know? So I got to flip the script. But if you need a good script, by the way, happy birthday to you, Brett.
Yeah, happy
Cheers
birthday.
to many,
Happy
many, many more
birthday
years.
to you. Happy year around the sun, as they say.
Glad you got the memo, we're matching.
Yeah, I
Love
was
you,
gonna
brother.
say the
Love you. But if you're looking for a good script, just to reach out and make sure that we have their names, their contact information, their mailing address, and their email, very important, is the Ford analogy. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Jamie just brought it up, but before I waste another minute of your time. Do we all know what Ford is besides a truck, a car? It's the holy grail to your sphere. F is for what? Family. O is for what? Occupation.
Close.
R is for recreation. D is for dreams. If I have Ford on everyone from A to Z, I'm connecting on a massive level.
Mhm.
Massive. If I know what you're into, and again, true stories, I was talking to an agent who started using Ford. He reached out to one of his, and this is kind of mid-pandemic. He reached out to just to check. Hey, I know the world's a little cuckoo right now, but how you doing, bud? And they're talking, he's like, I was thinking about you because I know you work at the hospital. How is that on you and your family? I know you just had another child. How is that on you and your family? And the guy said, well, interesting you should ask, because we're spending so much time here and I have a newborn and I'm working all the time. I don't want to go home and risk bringing it in. And so the hospital has offered the doctors and nurses a stipend, if you will, on rent, so that we can stay closer to the hospital and not have to go back and forth. The agent said, okay, well, why do that? Why don't we just find you a recreational property? Why don't we find you an income property around the hospital? That way, it could be yours. You get the tax write-off, you get the depreciation, and when all this is done, we can rent it out, and now it's going to turn into a income revenue stream for you. What do you think about that, Dr. So-and-so? Guy said, brilliant, go find it. And he found it off market, sent in a buyer letter that Jamie and I have, and ended up doubling it, making a crap load of money. It was a win-win-win-win-win. But if he didn't know Ford on his client, or did not think to carve out time to ask those open-ended questions to get the answers to Ford, he wouldn't have been able to connect those dots. Am I making sense?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. I had a little too much coffee this morning.
A little. Dreams.
Dreams.
So bottom line is, when you're making these calls or sending these text messages, it's not real estate related. You're just touching base. You're checking with them. You're letting them know that you're thinking about them. How's life going? How's family? Moving on.
Popeyes.
So Popeyes to their home, to their office, and gift cards, really important, but gonna move on from it. But Danny is a really great source for that. Sending one email, BCC. So BombBomb, I think somebody had mentioned that today. BombBomb is fantastic. If you don't know what BombBomb is, not only can you send one email, but it allows you to also do videos as well. But definitely want to also send an email. And Keller Williams has great programs for that for you guys as well. So make sure to do that. Again, you're dripping on your sphere of influence, okay? And then hosting seminars, you guys. If you have a great space to do that, we have a lot of realtors that do that out there. They'll host buyer seminars and any type of seminars. You just got to let your community know that you're in this business and you're there for them to help them any way that you can. Upload your sphere of influence. So your sphere into our total farm system. If you need help with that, you let us know. Our total farm system is a great farming tool. That is also another class.
Can I jump in real quick?
Go for it.
Yes, you're doing it all day, man. So the event, this is a great way to network with people who can send you business, CPAs, trust attorneys, hint, hint, right? If I was in your shoes, I would be doing at least twice a year, preferably once a quarter. I would reach across the way. I would call up a real estate, a trust attorney, a probate attorney, come on, Ben. And I would say, look, I want to have this event. I'd like to come by and interview you and see if you'd be the right fit to be my guest speaker. I'm gonna drive a ton of people. Again, a lot of these people don't have trust. They're gonna be looking for trust. Would you be interested in partner up with me on this date for an hour? We could do it Zoom, or you could do it in this beautiful space here. A lot of the chances, you'll find that attorneys can be like, yes, right? Because they're like us too. They're running, growing a business. And now you're getting credit from your farm and sphere for bringing in a trust attorney. And I can't tell you how many people who own real property, me included, in LA County that don't have a trust, right? So you're bringing value, and who do you think that trust attorney is going to look at for his or her next deal? Probably you, right? So that's a way that you can give value, drive brand recognition, and start building relationships with CPAs. That's another one. We just had our tax day yesterday. There's a lot of people like, make it fun. Talk about crypto, right? Drive people into it. So that's a good thing too.
Or if you're afraid to speak and do public speaking, you guys, like Ben said, call an attorney, call a CPA, ask them to come here and do it, because now you're putting them in front of your peeps. You know what I mean? Like, they'll do it. How cool would that be? We've seen it throughout our 19 years in the business, and it goes really well. So that's something to really consider for 2022. So moving on from that is, bless you, make sure to send your inventory marketing, even if you don't have listings and you don't have buyers, which I know Ben did touch upon real quickly. If you do have buyers and you're having a hard time finding them a home, a really powerful tool that we have that we've been using for years, I'm specifying for years because it continues to work, is a buyer letter. And we have somebody that can do that marketing for you. Or another thing, you guys have Michael Lewis.
Yeah, Michael Lewis.
If you want to get on like an auto. You good? Okay. Okay. If you want to get on an auto plan.
Is that Michael? Listen.
Right? Where you set it and forget about it. Michael Lewis now offers for $99 once a month for a year. So if you guys want to take a picture of this, go for it. But it's pretty dope. That's awesome. Again, set it and forget it. How sweet is that for a year? That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I mean, that's the two, every agent has a should list.
Yes.
Every year we all as salespeople say, I should have done this, I should have done that.
Yeah.
And Jamie and I say, well, don't sit there and should yourself. This is one of the biggest shoulds we get. And marketing, whether it's marketing to a geographic farm, marketing to a sphere of influence, or marketing micro farming, it all has to be consistent. It's like a marriage. If you don't check in, if you just check in with your spouse 2 or 3 times a year, chances are that wouldn't be a healthy marriage, unless you were a rock star and they knew that, right? So this is a great way to just set and forget and know that Michael Lewis is going to be sending out a sweet postcard. And look, the thing with the postcards, as long as your brand is, you got brand recognition, you got a call to action, send it. So Michael Lewis is great to take that off an agent should list.
That's right. So one of my favorite quotes, Ben was just saying something that reminded me of it, is, what's the Nike sign? Just do it. Just do it. Right? Just do it. Like, find 1 or 2 things that you are not currently doing with your sphere right now consistently, and just do it for the rest of the year. I highly recommend that, being text messaging being one of them. So ask for the referral, and if you follow this SOI plan of action, your business will grow. Success does not come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. So again, time manage, time block, write it in your day planner. Any way that Ben or I can help you out, reach out to us. If you want this, text us. We'll get it your way, please. And is there any questions? Yes.
I just want to share a recent really.
Amazing. Share. Love it. Thank you.
I texted a client who bought and sold with me last year. Hey Linda, do you have my closing statements? I can't find the money for my taxes. Why, yes, I do that. Email him, follow back up with the tax I just sent them to, let me know if you need my house, house is great. They said, oh, by the way, referrals are always appreciated. I might know somebody.
Mhm. There you go.
Next day, get an email, make an introduction, go to the meeting, get the listing, and there you have it.
Wow.
There you have it.
And if I had not have
Yes.
thought to say at the end of it, referrals are always
Yeah.
appreciated,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have thought, oh, wait.
No. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Did everybody hear that? The
So, I mean, it's a
success from
great
that?
one Just for your.
Yes.
Your customers next year, right before taxes, you could just have a touch point with it, send out their closing statement, just in case you haven't, don't have it or don't know where it is.
Love it. Cause like she said, if she didn't ask, it wouldn't have come to
It
her.
wouldn't have happened.
It wouldn't have happened. Exactly. Well, there's a lender client that we've been working with for many years and 2 years ago, right before the pandemic, so about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, he had asked me for 5 of my friends' names and phone numbers, and can I reach out to them? I was like, oh, Moshe, we've been working together for 12 years. You've never asked me that. And so I gave it to him, and he actually got leads from it. He did refinances for 3 of my friends, but if he didn't ask, I wouldn't have thought of giving that information to him. So maybe make that as another goal setter, where you say that you're gonna ask 2 people a day for a referral. Like, do you know of anybody that is thinking of buying or selling? What's the worst they say is no, or the best is actually I do.
Yeah.
Right?
And you can throw out, like, we also have to be cognizant of the language we use. For example, the next time somebody asks you, how's the market? I stopped saying it's crazy, because people don't want to deal with crazy. They want to deal with steady. So instead of saying, hey, the market's crazy, next time someone says, hey, Ben, how's the market? I said, it's extremely challenging. That's why you need a pro like me to get you through it, right? Right? And then they say, well, I hear, we have an inventory problem. We don't have an inventory problem. We have a demand problem. You're saying the same thing, but one is a little more confident, because the consumer right now is running for the hills, literally. Since rates go up, all we hear on the news is rate shoppers. I'm not even kidding, 3 times a week I'll get a call, because I used to be a lender. So a lot of my friends and people in my sphere back then, I hear we're approaching 2008 again. I go, David, who's telling you that? He's like, oh, that's just what I hear. Well, stop listening to that person. Have anyone call me. I am your advocate. I'll make sure no one tries to retire on you in this business, right? Whatever your closing or connection phrase, I like to use the word advocate, because everyone has friends. How many people in here have heard me about this? Well, my friend's an agent.
All the time.
My friend's an agent.
All the time.
Right. When I was a loan officer, I used to hear that all the time.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, who's doing your loan? Well, my friend's a loan officer. Oh, the guy in my fraternity is my loan officer. Great, I have a ton of friends. Send me over his good faith estimate. I'll tell you what kind of friends you really are. And they would send it over and be like, you guys are boys. He's making 22 grand on your deal. Jaw drop. And look, I'm all for people making money. What I'm not for is people retiring on other people. It's up to us in this room to be advocates for our clients. And that's a good thing that you can steal and promote out there. Say, look, the market is extremely challenging right now. That's why you need a pro like me to make sure there's no funny business. Or for anyone who you may know is thinking about selling, and I bet you I could sell their house before I put it on the market. I stole that from another coach, but I liked it.
I have one yes.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's all good. It's open.
Just have a block.
It's all good.
Just everyone's agent. So yesterday I met somebody, they want to sell their house. And so I said, I started telling them I'm an agent, and then again, their mom and this, so that's my big block, is somebody, it's their friend, their cousin or whatever. How do I get over that?
Okay.
It's all mindset.
Yeah.
It's all
exactly that I
mindset.
know.
You are the only one that can we are the only ones that can get in the way of that.
What's the word?
Here's the wording.
What's the response?
Oh, got it.
What I would do is, are you a geographic farmer?
Not right.
That's okay. There's no right or wrong answer in real estate, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
I got licensed in Nevada and California, so now I'm ready to go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Gina.
So
Gina.
before you leave today, get with Stephanie or your MCA,
Yeah.
find out how many units this office has closed year to date. And then find out the volume those units represent year to date.
Okay.
And then if you're a geographic farmer, pull the turnover rate in the past 12 months year to date. And then it goes something like this. Yes, my friend is an agent. Great. You're about the 10th person I've talked to today that has a friend or family in the business. Love that. It's all about relationships. But myself and my team, we closed 258 full value transfers this year for about $580 million. That's the team I belong to, right? We do so many transactions that I can make sure that no one tries to retire on me. Can you do me a favor? Before you sign any document, send it to me. I'll make sure they're looking out for your best interest. I'm your
Yeah, because
advocate.
I live in these condos in Malibu, and all these people want to sell, and I'm like, one person just sold their, I mean, it's, so now I want to get in on it, but I just have to get over that
Yes,
weird, that thing.
yes.
But knowing your numbers will take away that anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And-
my
and
thing.
give
And people like stats.
And people like stats. A,
Yeah.
it's a true story of your office. B, sightseeing. And C, you don't ever, when you throw out stats like that and they say, you know, how's the market? The market is challenging. In this neighborhood, there's 350 homes. And out of those 350 homes, 6.8% sold last year in real estate. We call that a turnover rate, which is ironic considering the average stay year in this neighborhood is 10.5 years, which would explain why the average sales price in the last 90 days is $2.3 million.
And imagine that, you're throwing
Mic
stats out,
drop.
right? In their head, they're like, wow,
Are they gonna ask you,
Wow.
how long have you been licensed? No,
right, right,
so know the numbers, yeah.
yes.
We also have role plays on Tuesdays and Thursdays,
Oh, there
so
you
we
go.
can help you with
Yeah,
that.
you take it out with Total Farm, we'll give you that information.
Yes.
Search that for any
But that's
particular
great.
area.
Because I mean,
You should do that, Gina.
I'm not even worried, like, once I get it.
Then you do, right?
Steal the word advocate, use it back on them. Everyone has friends, but do you have an advocate?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
because
line.
everybody, it's everywhere you go, but it's constant.
Yes.
Then I don't know how to compete with that, with their cousin or their brother, I just.
Right. So quick example, this just happened to a friend of mine that I've grown up here in LA. He moved to Panama for 18 years and he moved back, okay? He was doing open houses every single weekend, except for the Jewish holidays because he's Jewish. Every weekend. And he was at a big listing from his teammate that he was at, like, you guys get listings here, you know, you ask the Tammy at the front, you ask where I want to work an open house. So you work open houses, guy comes in and says he already has an agent. My friend Kevin followed up with him because he has, not the sign-in sheet, by the way, if you guys are using old school sign-in sheets, Open Home Pro is a good way to
What's it
get
called?
Open Home Pro, good way to use. You do it on your iPad,
Tablet.
because they actually like to sign in. They put in their first name, last name, and email addresses. My point is Kevin was diligent. He followed up with the buyer that said he has an agent. There was no agent with him, but he said he has an agent. Because think about it, they don't want to be bothered, but he said he had an agent. But Kevin followed up with him and followed up with him and followed up with him. And he ended up getting that listing and it was like for 2.4. So he was out of his head and he just did his job. Do you know what I'm saying? And he just followed up and followed up and followed up. So Ben gave you great advice. There's role playing and mindset is also everything.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
just know you're gonna come across this.
I
There
think
are,
mindset is the ultimate.
it is the ultimate.
If you-
It is.
One little
That's
trick of
right.
the mind and you're.
That's right.
Anything.
One last tip, because we did call this class generating now business. So I'm gonna give you one last tip that will get you leads. If you do this, just do it. And that is, you go into Facebook and you go to see all friends. And when you click on see all friends, and you do this from your computer, I mean, you can do it from your phone too. It'll list all your friends in alphabetical order from A to Z. Tell yourself you're gonna do 5 a day or 10 a day. And you click on their on private message and you send them a private message. Hey, just thinking about you, checking in, hope you're doing well, whatever you want to say. And if you need advice on what to say, hit me up and I'll text you. Send 5 to 10 of those a day. It hits their phone instantly. The minute you send a Facebook private message, it hits their phone instantly. Do that from A to Z, a private message on Facebook. Take me up on that challenge and you will see the responses that come back. You will. I guarantee you that you will get leads from that. You will. I've had so many people tell me that it has worked for them. And please give me the success stories from you too.
And sorry, but since we're challenging each other, so here's gonna shoot a vid this week. Come on. 30-second video.
Hey!
I got one. I got two. Nice. 3. Beautiful.
Just make sure you're looking at the camera, not
Yeah.
yourself, because people like to see the eyes. You know what I'm saying?
But
We see a lot of people that will look at themselves. Yeah, exactly. Look at the camera. Right.
also,
Perfect.
So a video on ourselves talking about,
Can't be a
Yeah.
host tour.
And always say your first
Anything,
name, your last
anything,
name,
as
what
long as
company
it's
you're
your
with, because people will share a video and say, you can talk about the market. You could talk about the community. Tell them about a great restaurant. You don't always have to talk real estate.
here's a good one.
Be the media person in your
Be the media
community.
person and think like and I'm sorry for all you have to deal with my videos, but if you've seen a couple of my videos, you know, we stole this from an actress. What is, I'm not an actor or actress, obviously, but what did they call that opening slate?
Oh.
The slate, before they shoot everything, they slate. You gotta slate yourself. Hey, Benjamin Franklin Acosta with the Fidelity national title here. Every time I start a video, just like that. So if they share it with somebody that I don't know, they're gonna Benjamin Franklin Acosta, Benjamin Franklin, blah, blah, blah,
Mhm.
right? And then you can go into your call to action. But here's a good takeaway. If you want to send out a video, you can do it today. It's fun. Hi, this is Benjamin Franklin Acosta with Keller Williams, an international luxury real estate brand. And in America, yesterday was what? Yes, tax day. We all had to file our taxes. So if you want to talk about ways owning real property can help make you money or save you money on the taxes, private message me or hit me up. I'm your biggest advocate in real estate. Peace.
Just quick, 30-second videos. And only do it 5 times, because otherwise you're gonna be doing it 20 times because you want to look perfect. Only tell yourself I'm shooting 5, that's it. And typically you pick
Typically,
pick
look at
your
your
first
one.
video. What?
And do you, don't
Yeah,
worry
just be
about,
you.
because people can tell when there's plenty of production out there. We don't need any more of it. What we need is authenticity. And people connect with people that are real. I think one of our first videos, we did it, we were trying to be all cool. And one of us dropped the phone.
Drop
So
it.
you see the camera drop and you hear us go, oh shit.
And it was live. It was a live
And it was
video. It was our
live.
first live. We didn't know how to do it, what to do. And he's, yeah.
Still to this day,
Yeah,
people will be
will
like,
bring it up.
I keep pulling that video up
Yeah.
and watching it because it is
Funny.
just hilarious. I did another one when I was at the county bathroom, we could do special recordings before the pandemic. And I'm sitting there because Jamie and I don't often get to share with the client the way you do. By the way, how awesome is that when you hand them the keys and say, congratulations, this is yours now. Well, sometimes, we get to take part of that in special recordings. So I'm down there, I'm feeling emotional. Yeah, I'm an emotional guy. I don't care. I'm feeling emotional because it's a first time home buyer, and when I handed them the grant key, they're like, what does this mean? I said, it means you're a homeowner now. They looked at each other and they started crying. And now I'm sitting there like, this is something I said, should I do? You guys cool? And he's like, you don't understand, Ben. We lived on my parents' couch for 2 years, worked 3 jobs, didn't even go to Disneyland. That's all, we had this money for home buys. And now you're sitting here telling me with this paper, we did it? He said, yeah, how's it feel? And so I'm like, can I share this? You mind? And they're like, no, mind. Shoot the video. So I gotta shoot the video and I'm like sitting there, I was like, I'm going into it and I have the docs in my hand. It was like, God has a great sense of humor. He came in with the wind and just, and the docs are,
Literally.
and you just see me go, oh shit, and the docs go everywhere. And the wife is like, are those important? I'm like, yeah, don't worry. But can you hold this? And I'm just grabbing docs everywhere. Again, people loved it.
You.
Versus if I did some production, and we have those videos too, time and a place for that. But again, just be you, do
well, it's like
you.
what she said, you have to show them you.
Yeah,
Show them you.
that's right. That's right.
Because you are fantastic. There's only one of you. There'll never be another. And you tell your story.
So thank you so much for taking
Yes.
time. I mean, look, if you walked away with at least one nugget today, we did our job. We just hope that you implement, because if you do, I promise you guys, you will get leads. I promise you. And we're here to help you any way we can. Thank you so much.
Thank
Be
you.
so good that you can't be ignored, you guys. Alrighty. Awesome.
I actually had a quick question.
Yes.
On the Facebook one, ABC 123, where you reach out, what if a lot of people Sunday, you know?
Oh, yeah, this Facebook, we would say it's not a full platform, yeah. It's-
So how do you like,
You know, yeah, it
maybe
would
introduce
be,
myself for, hey, I just want to say hi, I'm friends with Facebook.
I don't know but are you friends with them, how you know them somehow, or are you
Yeah.
just friends with strangers?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Right.
Well, you could create group if you want, but that's getting a little too much. I wouldn't even go into it. Look, if, to start off easy, breezy, if they don't know you, like you, love you, like the true
Yeah.
SOI,
True.
don't bother with them, because they'll
Okay.
just clog your news feed
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, that's exactly.
And
what
create
happens.
more work
Log it
for you.
up.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Really,
Thanks
really-
again, you guys.